thinking more about sci-fi movie ideas, actually, and how do you make an interesting sci-fi movie without it being dystopian? Is it possible? Would anyone watch it? I've been watching Gattaca, which I hadn't seen before. It's got Jude Law and Ethan Hawke, and it's a lot about social credits, actually. And social credits based on DNA and actuary, so instead of actuary, I should say actuary, on how you would be able to speculate and see the risk of, say, someone having a particular health condition based on their DNA and their I guess social circumstances, but mainly, like as soon as you're born, they do a blood test, and they print out we expect this baby to die at age 30 or something. It's a really interesting concept. And I think the film was made maybe 15, 20 years ago. I don't know, a long time ago. It's quite funny. Jude Law, he plays this kind of super clever guy. He's like a genius, but he's disabled, and he's befriended by another guy, Ethan Hawke, whose character really wants to get a top level job and go up into a spaceship, but he's not as clever, but he's really, is able-bodied, and they look quite similar. And Ethan Hawke's character wants the DNA data, the identity not theft, but wants Jude Law to give his kind of brain IQ data and take that to get into any job in like a space program. And actually the job Ethan Hawke starts with, that's where I'm at in the film, it's just like a cleaning job in the space station, or the sort of the space station on Earth. So he can understand what's required before he goes into space. And everyone has these like cards and tickets and verification of ID and data. And it's quite interesting. It's made a long time ago, and it shows how easy it is to swap the data of identity, especially if one type of data profile, say a brain profile of somebody, is extremely valuable, and other people want it. With Ethan Hawke and Jude Law, the characters, they kind of look after each other. Jude Law is, he's in a wheelchair, so he feels a little bit resentful that Ethan Hawke is doing the things that he wanted to do because he's so brainy. And Ethan Hawke is continuously worried that he's going to get caught, because if he gets caught, he'd obviously be killed, because it undermines, the whole social credit system. So it's a really prophetic movie, actually. So I got to that stage, and I've been watching it while I've been doing kind of weights. It's an excellent idea. Uma Thurman's in it as well, and she basically is quite sort of critical of the whole data collection and data hierarchy of people. She gets the verification, just screws it up and throws it in the bin. It's quite similar, I guess, to the idea, in Blade Runner and of the replicants. It's quite like a very, very recycled idea of how do we have a hierarchy of people based on their DNA. Are some people, converged towards such elite superiority that they are practically alien androids. Like if you made a robot, they would be that robot. If all I thought while I was watching it with Jude Law in that wheelchair, I thought, if you're so bloody clever and people are living, in space colonies, how come you can't? How come you can't invent your own wearable technology to walk around? Maybe that's the final thing, that he starts walking again because he's created some kind of gene turning on mechanism which allows him to repair his spinal column, and he starts walking. Maybe that's the story. Maybe that's the story I should write. I don't know. But it's a very, very old, recycled story. It's not a new idea at all. I mean, even 1984 is a lot about surveillance data and social credit. Literally, that's what it is. When was that written? 1940s? We're in 2025 now. We have nothing new to say. Like, I wouldn't write a story about social credit because it's bloody something that we've been talking about for nearly 100 years. Data profiling, surveillance, control through surveillance, hierarchy. The pigs become the people at the bottom, and the pigs who are like given a little bit of power start to become Nazis and order around the clever humans. This is literally what's happening. Again, prophetic. The stupidest people who we can, allegory as pigs in muck on a farm, being given a little hat to wear, a little uniform, going, we are authority now, and we are going to rise up and order around the clever people. That's literally, it's practically a folklore story. Now everyone's read 1984. Okay, everyone's read it. It's part of most schools' curriculum. Literally, the whole world has read 1984 by George Orwell. You would know it. I'm so sorry if it depresses you. It's just a book. It's just a story. You don't have to be depressed about fictional stories. Really, you can read a piece of fiction and, just be like, oh, that's a good piece of writing. How clever is that piece of writing? Honest to God, you can watch a sad movie and you can go, oh, that was nicely art directed. That's how we are as human beings. You can read 1984 and not feel depressed because you can appreciate it as a iconic cultural piece of narrative that the whole world has read. Can you do that? Or do you start crying about it? Because you might never be able to read any book. That's not even real. That's a piece of fiction. Can you not watch the news because you start crying? Do you cry every time you see a bit of, war news on? Which actually warrants a bit of crying. Have you read stuff? Have you written or read anything creative or news? Because if you cried, if you felt so upset every time you saw anything or read anything, you wouldn't be able to be educated in any way whatsoever. Are you not educated? Yeah, you probably never read a thing in your life, have you?